Hi everyone, it's Joy, and I'm doing my Friday Live mini class today. I have switched to 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Fridays for a little while because I've started doing Tai Chi in the mornings through my local hospital, and so it kind of puts things a little bit later, but I hope you're still going to join me. And if you join me on replay, that's okay too. Just please do go ahead and make comments because I absolutely adore comments and I always go back and respond to them and reply. And so, anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you what we're going to be using to make our card today. It is the Snowy Delights stamp set. And then this die here, we haven't used this die. This die cuts out little individual snowflakes and little kind of pieces of snow. And so we're going to be using that today with this bundle. We will not be using the masks today, but those also come with the bundle. And we're going to be using adhesive sheets because those snowflakes are so tiny. The adhesive sheets really are the way to go for that. So let me go ahead and show you that they come in the mini catalog, the September to December 2025 mini catalog, and they are on pages 52 as some samples and then 53, and that is where you can find this. You can also find it online and just look up Snowy Delights, and you would also be able to find that online. Now, those of you who saw my post earlier today with my monochromatic Instagram hop that I also post on Facebook, this color this week was Flirty Flamingo. And so I'm like, oh, well, why not make some pink snowflakes? I'm sure those of you who absolutely adore pink will really like this card. It could be a Christmas card. It is more of a winter card, but it is really fun, and I'm going to be showing you how to make this ombre background, and we're going to be doing this card, but we're going to be doing quite a twist on it. So first off, let's go ahead and bring in our card base, which is the 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Now it is, we do have one standard score, which is at the 4.25 inches, but we need to score this again. And so I'm going to be bringing in my paper trimmer. Love my paper trimmer. It has a really nice scoring blade and the cutting blade, but for right now we just need the scoring blade. Let's go ahead and let's make another score line at 2 1/8. So 4.25 is half of 8.5 by 11, and half of 4.25 is 2 1/8. So let's go ahead. Find it. So you've got, there's 16th inch markings here. So if you go over, and if you think of these as little eyelashes, just two little eyelashes, and that is our 2 1/8. So 2 1/16 and then 2 1/8. Let's go ahead and let's get a nice good score line for that. So we're going to need 2 mountain folds for this. Let's bring in our fold folder, and we do have, it's in half, and then we need to do it in half again, but instead of folding back on itself, it's going to fold in. So 2 mountain folds for this, so that our card winds up being basically like this. So it's going to be an easel card, and let's see, so that's our card base. Now we need to bring in some other pieces. Going to need a piece of basic white that is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and 2 more pieces of basic white, just 2 of them. 2 more pieces of basic white that are 3 3/4 by 5. So these are both 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4 inches. I need this one first, and we're going to need a piece of scratch paper, just an old ugly piece of scratch paper here, and we're going to need a blending brush and our Flirty Flamingo ink. This is a very old ink pad, but it still works. I just keep refilling it with an ink refill. I'm so happy that Stampin' Up! Has it to where you can buy ink refills. So until this color retires, this ink pad is still working. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go off of our paper just a little bit, and then we're going to come on in a circular motion. And we start at the bottom, and then work our way up, and it gets lighter as we go up. So we're just doing nice, good coverage. And then again, going off and adding more ink. You can add ink, but you can't take it away. So we're just adding more ink. Blending that in. And then, so that you don't have to watch me do all that, I do have the one that I've already prepared. As you can see, I got quite a bit of a darkness of color there at the bottom, and then a medium tone in the middle, and then a light tone at the top. So that is our, yeah, I'm going to need this back again. That is our ombre. That's how you do an ombre background with a blending brush. And next we need, yes, we need the stamp set out of the Snowy Delights. This is just a bunch of little snowflakes, and we're going to do tone on tone stamping. So we're going to do Flirty Flamingo on top of Flirty Flamingo. And we're just going to randomly stamp a few of those, kind of flipping our stamp around a little bit as we go. So we're just putting some snowflakes on here. Just leaving a little bit of space and turning my stamp in different directions as I go. And doing some off the page. There we have it. I just have some random snowflakes, and I'll blot this a little bit and then I'll clean that later. I'm going to put this ink pad away for a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to bring it back because I still have a few more snowflakes on a different piece. I also need a piece that's 1/2 inch wide by 5.5 inches long, and I might trim that down. But this is just a strip from my Flirty Flamingo, and I am going to stamp some snowflakes on that one as well. But just a few snowflakes on there to give that a little extra interest. Alright, that's all the snowflakes that I'm going to need for my project. I can close my ink pad, and then what else do I need? Oh yes, we also need a piece for the sentiment. We need a piece of basic white. Let's take this away. Piece of basic white that is 7/8 of an inch by 2 5/8. 7/8 by 2 5/8. Well, that piece is going to go about right there. So now I'm just going to let it hang out there for a minute. And I'm going to bring in some of those little snowflake pieces that I use that die for. And I put adhesive sheet on the back before I die cut them. So I don't know if you can see that there is some adhesive sheet on part of that. And then I have I put them in a little baggie so I wouldn't lose them. I have all these little snowflakes here, and they do have paper and adhesive and then paper on the back. So let's go ahead and let's grab a take your pick tool. Let's get a big one first. And we're just going to use this to kind of sort of lift up that paper. As you can see, it sort of lifts that paper up. And then, where am I going to place those? Where would I like this one? Maybe right there. And a medium-sized one. We have a large, a medium, and a small. The papers I'll throw away later. And a small. So we're just going to be putting these on in some different places around this. So we've got lots of kind of texture going on in the background. Now let's find another large one and decide where we want that one. I might not even use all of these. Oh. Perfect. Where am I going to put this one? Try there. And a medium one. Maybe we'll try. Oh. Okay, let's use the other end. Pick it up. Stick it on the end here. And where would we like that one? Maybe there. And a small one. There it comes. Where else do I want one? Let's see, this is a small one, this is a medium one. Let's see what I want here. What goes there? Small one. Yeah, we're just going to keep going. Whoop. That one kind of go. There we go. There we go. And let's see, what else do we like? Maybe one right there. I don't want small ones. And a smaller one there. Yeah, I think I want a smaller one there. This one, flip this over, get the paper off. So sometimes it's just a matter of playing around with things until you get them how you want them. And a small one here. That looks pretty good. We'll just go with that. And now, I want to make sure that these are down good. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take my bone folder and rub that on. No, that's noisy. I'm going to kind of rub that on, make sure all my snowflakes are on really well. There we have it. We have a few more snowflakes that we don't need. So we're just going to put those back in the baggie. I think I have a large, medium, and a small that I didn't need. Let's go ahead and let's get that over there. Now, let's go ahead and we need the bigger white on the back. So we're going to go ahead and attach those two together. Bring in my Stampin' Seal. Get a nice even border, nice even white border there. Sometimes when you've got colors like this, it's nice to put a white border in between. That looks pretty good. And we do need to stamp our sentiment. So we have a winter wish for snowy delights. And I thought it was just a little too much to do, you know, the Flirty Flamingo for the sentiment. So I am going to use basic gray. Basic gray is a little less stark than black, than our Memento Tuxedo Black color. So it will give a darker sentiment, but it won't be really stark like the black would be. And hopefully we're getting this straight. I'm going to hold that there for just a second. Beautiful. So we're not going to put this one on yet. We're going to let that dry just a little bit more. And we're going to start assembly. Let's see, we need a piece. Oh, let's go ahead and do our inside sentiment. Should be the same size as the chest. Let's go ahead and do our inside sentiment, which is with family, friends, and long, peaceful nights. So it goes, a winter wish for snowy delights with family, friends, and long, peaceful nights. So it's like a little poem. We're going to use the basic gray again. Sometimes I bring my ink pad to my stamp. We're just tap, tap, tap. We're not pushing into it. You know, how I talk about you've got to be gentle when you're doing the stamp to the ink pad so that you don't get a bunch of stamping garbage that you don't want. So we're just going to hopefully eyeball this and get this straight. I'll hold that there for just a second. Let the ink absorb into the pad, into the paper. The ink is absorbing into the paper because this is dye ink. Dye ink absorbs into the paper. Pigment ink sits on top. That's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and attach this on the inside. This is going to go on the inside here. We'll get a nice big border there. And this one is going to need a strip, either a bunch of dimensionals or a strip. Let me grab it out of my drawer. So we're going to bring in the foam adhesive strips. I'm going to do a strip of adhesive on this, or maybe two. Well, we shall see. Okay, one strip. Maybe need two on this. Might need another strip on there. I'm just going to measure it off of the piece. Go ahead and set that down. You don't want it tipping anywhere. There we have that. So we need a piece that on the inside that has dimensional, so it will hold this up like this. So we'll put this on in a minute. First, let's get this part on, and we needs to be even border around this direction, but it only needs to go part way. So I'm going to flip that over. I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to lightly mark that so that we know where our adhesive is going to go. And let's see, we can go ahead and just use dimensionals, I think, for this one, if I can find a pack that's open. No. Oh, here it is. Here's a pack that's open. We'll just use dimensionals for this one. We could use our adhesive strips. That would be absolutely fine. I think the adhesive strips may be just a hair taller than the dimensionals. Okay. This one is not behaving. There we go. So we're going to put some dimensionals on here. You know me, I like lots of them, so be prepared to see me put a whole bunch on here. We're not going to go quite up to that line. But we are going to use a bunch. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, let's come back and let's take our papers off of our dimensionals. Did they come off? Yes, they came off. Okay, now we're going to do it again. And this, want to make sure it goes the right direction. I'm going to do a nice even border all the way around. But it's only going to go part way. And we can erase the the pencil mark on the back, but I'll do that later. But you would go ahead and erase that on the back. Then we need this piece, and we need dimensionals on this piece. This is going to go right here, I think. Needs to just go, it doesn't need any dimensional there, but needs dimensionals on the rest of it. I'm just holding my finger where I do not want a dimensional. And we'll just go ahead and put 3 of them. And I'm going to take that all the way to the edge there. And then we want this to kind of stand up. So that's going to tell us where to put this. I'm going to make a couple of wings, one on each end. And we're going to decide where we want this. Put it right about there. Maybe, I don't think that's quite straight. But if we put it right about there, it should make our snowflake kind of stand up. Like I said, it's just sort of attached but not fully attached. And that, so then you can see, I'll tip it up so you can see what it would look like. So then that is going to stand up like so. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and pull the wings, pull the paper. Oh, that one didn't come all the way. So now we're going to have to reach in there and grab it. Grab the paper. There we go. There's the paper. There we go. It's coming. There we go. All right. We have that. We have our easel element. And we just need some gems on here to top it off. So I'm using the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels, and yes, at one point I got this package in an ink pad, but it's absolutely fine. So the Iridescent Basic Jewels, we've got some large ones and some small ones. I'll put this back on so I don't poke myself. And I'll set that down, and we're just going to decide where do we want. There's a large one. And where do we want our others, the others? I don't know, I may move that around a little bit. That's pretty good. We'll just go with that. And then we're going to press those down really good. Put this back in our package. I slit the side open so I can pull that in and out and keep them kind of protected. So there we have our easel card. So I told you we were going to do a twist on this card. So this was my original that I did, and then this is my easel card that I've done. So you can go ahead and tell me in the comments, do you like the easel card? Do you like the traditional card with the traditional fold? So just tell me your preference and tell me, do you think you will do a horizontal easel card? It was really simple and easy, and I hope you will make one and then send me a picture. I love it when you post pictures of the cards that you make off of what I make. So until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.